Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and today we're going to be talking about another recent move that I made in the market. I actually made both of these on Friday. On Friday, I purchased $12,000 in Microsoft stock. And by the way, if you aren't familiar, just a quick rundown of what happened and how I got this money to use towards these investments. This cash that you see right here is from a stock called VOO. I actually sold it at a loss. I had around $34,000 invested into VOO, and I sold it for like $32,000. I sold it at a loss because, as you can see right here, the recovery time on VOO is just too slow for me. It's taking too long, and I've realized that with VOO having about a 10% gain percentage every year, I just realized that especially in my taxable account, in this Robinhood account, I want to focus and prioritize the most amount of growth that I can get, with it still being a safe choice or safe investment as well. So as you can see right here, that's one of the main reasons I have about $33,000 in Microsoft currently. I mean, look at the consistency on this past 5-year chart. Microsoft has an excellent business model, great consistency in terms of growth, and as you can see right here, they also consistently beat expected earnings per share as well. Pretty much this whole chart shows them beating the expectations. So in basic terms, I have this cash left over from the $32,000 that I sold in VOO, and my thought process with selling that was I realized that I was going to take a $2,300 loss. However, I think that I can regain that $2,300 much faster with these other prioritized investments compared to what I would gain with holding it in VOO as an alternative. I mean, for example, you have a stock like Microsoft that averages about 40 to 50% a year. I mean, it's currently up plus 45.44% for this past year, even factoring in the most recent crash and the recovery. And if you look at VOO, if you count in the most recent crash, it's up 4.61%. And even if you count the peak before the crash, it's up 20% for the year. So Microsoft still does double that with the crash factored in on their charts. So I think Microsoft can help me recover that $2,300 pretty easily. And as you can see right here, just the small amount of money I had in Microsoft before my reinvestment of that VOO money into this stock, I had already made 7.78%, which was over $2,300. So I've basically already made it back just because of my side investment in Microsoft. So I'm still positive up for the year, so I'm super happy about all of that. We're at around a $6,000 gain, and I'm especially excited about that given that we had to overcome this most recent crash and I didn't panic sell. But anyways, back onto the main topic. This video is going to be me discussing a stock that I recently put about $5,000 into. As you already know, with Microsoft, I just dropped about $12,000 into this stock, so I made another purchase as well. And by the way, if you do enjoy these types of videos where I sort of share my market moves and my justification and reasoning behind those moves, then make sure to drop a like on this video, smash that like button. Really does help me out, and I'm super excited that we're growing the channel so much here. And I think a lot of this growth is simply from you all showing love and liking the video and getting that video recommended to newer people that aren't familiar with my channel. So it definitely helps me out. I really do appreciate it. And as always, if you do want to begin investing and are simply curious about everything, feel free to sign up to Robinhood and Webull with my referral link in the description, and we'll both get a free stock. As you can see right here, CLF was a free stock that I received, so it's pretty nice passive income anyways, and it does support the channel, so I definitely appreciate it. But back onto this purchase, I'll go ahead and tell you straight up, I put about $4,900 into Tesla stock. And I know, especially if you're not a super Tesla bull or a Tesla fanboy, then you may be thinking, what in the world is wrong with this man? Why is he dropping this much money onto this stock, especially with it being at such a high price tag? And I can kind of get that. I understand why you would think it may be a little bit higher than what I should be spending on this stock. But for the Tesla fans and the Tesla bulls, I know that you already understand this. I don't even have to explain this for you, but I'm going to anyway, since we have a general audience here. And plus, I might mention a few things that you didn't know or didn't think about as well, which is always a good thing. But as you can see right here, I currently have an average cost basis of $813.53 per share. We are currently above that, so that means we've gained money in total return. So we're at plus $68 right now, or plus 0.44%. And I currently own a total of 19 shares, and this takes up about 20% of my portfolio. And in total, we've invested about $15,500. So a pretty solid investment, a pretty reasonable amount of my portfolio is put into Tesla. And I know it's commonly emphasized that investing in Tesla is kind of like a spec play, a speculative play. And although I do believe that is true to some extent, I feel like at this point, Tesla is making so many groundbreaking moves and has already produced so many different types of vehicles that this is almost not becoming speculative. We realize that Tesla is ahead of the game, and they're ahead of all of these legacy automakers that probably have no clue whatsoever when it comes to hiring some of the smartest people in computers and coding, creating their own effective and efficient chip like Tesla did, and then training their own neural net to perfect AI, thanks to all of the data that is gathered from the hardware on the current Tesla fleet that we have right now, including pretty much every single model out there after a certain date. So for one thing, Tesla was smart enough to implement this hardware years ago, and they had enough forward thinking to realize that in the future they would be able to use all of this data that was gathered on that hardware and implement it into the fleet data, and they're going to be able to use all of that data to train the software to perfect basically AI that drives much safer than the average normal human. And keep in mind, that's just AI. That's just an opportunity for robo-taxis and just an extra aspect of the Tesla vehicle. This isn't the only thing that Tesla is known for. The people at Tesla are basically revolutionaries when it comes to lithium-ion battery production. They are one of the biggest battery producers in the world, and another huge focus that Tesla has is reducing the cost of the battery while also improving its effectiveness vastly as well. I think that there was a chart basically talking about the improvement of lithium-ion batteries over the past few years, and I think there's like a 5 to 10% improvement every single year in terms of battery life and cost effectiveness. But I'm going to go ahead and predict this, especially with Tesla Battery Day coming up in the future. I think that Tesla has found a way to basically beat this normal average and improve batteries drastically. I think that's one of the main reasons why they have a whole day dedicated to talking about batteries, like a conference to talking about this. It's kind of similar to the autonomous AI technology, the full self-driving technology for Autonomy Day that they had in 2019, where they basically announced that they have created this groundbreaking software and AI that will be useful for Tesla consumers and Tesla businesses in the future, such as like Tesla robo-taxis. So not only do we have full self-driving and the potential of Tesla being on the front lines of this AI technology, but we also have Tesla being a main proponent of lithium-ion battery production. They're improving the costs and the effectiveness of the battery, which is absolutely huge. And you have to realize Tesla as a company was smart enough to go down to the very bare bones of electric vehicles. And that core origin is on the electric battery itself. If they can figure out how to improve the battery and reduce the costs over time, then it simply makes Tesla as a company way more cost effective if they are decreasing the cost of a product, yet also improving the value of that product at the same time over time. So those are just a few huge aspects of why I think Tesla is still a good deal right now. And honestly, I've gotten even more clarity about Tesla lately. I'm even more bullish more than ever before on Tesla. And just a few weeks ago, I did a video on where I was saying that basically anything under $600 is a good share price to buy in at Tesla. However, right now, I even think $800 is a good share price to buy in, considering the tremendous amount of potential in the future with this company, and also just the past events and success that they have had so far. I honestly think that this is worth investing in, and especially if you just simply go and watch a lot of these videos on YouTube, like the full Autonomy Day conference, some of the various model unveilings, Elon Musk history and interviews. The more I've watched that, the more bullish I've become on Tesla, because I was watching even interviews that were from like way back in 2012 where Elon Musk says he is going to do something, and now that these years have gone by, I look back and I've seen that he does it. And Elon has addressed this before. He realizes that he is ambitious in his goals, and sometimes he fast tracks some of these announcements or goals, as in like when something is going to happen, when a vehicle is going to be unveiled or produced. Sometimes he's a little bit too ambitious and it ends up taking longer than the date that he stated. But I saw an interview where Elon emphasizes that never in his history or in his life has he set a date that he didn't truly believe that they could achieve. It was simply them encountering roadblocks that they did not expect that prolonged that date, that ended up causing him to be inaccurate in his estimates. So Elon is just an ambitious person, and when he does say that he thinks something can be done by a certain date, he does believe that, but oftentimes there's just a lot of encounters and roadblocks that affects the timeline. And it's especially important to keep in mind how hard manufacturing is. Even Elon has emphasized this over many times and many times before, that manufacturing is very hard work. And that's one of the huge reasons why we haven't had such a huge startup automotive company like Tesla over the past 100 years. And especially if you're bullish on Tesla or simply just need some convincing, I would really recommend you watch this video on YouTube by ARK Invest called Big Ideas 2019 Technological Breakthroughs Investors Shouldn't Miss. For one thing, I love the people over at ARK Invest, especially Kathy Wood. They've always been huge proponents / bulls for Tesla. But the reason I'm mentioning this video and how it relates to Tesla is because one of their biggest picks for technological breakthroughs coming up in the 2020s is battery cost tipping point, and as it says right here, industrial innovation. So this basically emphasizes exactly what Tesla is doing right now, improving the batteries and decreasing the cost drastically, and that goes along with the industrial innovation with doing all of that as well with Tesla. And I think a lot of this right here is a reference to Tesla because ARK Invest, one of their main investments is Tesla, so I think this is a reference to what Tesla is doing currently and why they are so bullish on Tesla. And then also take into consideration one more big idea mentioned in this video. Not only one, but two of these big ideas from ARK Invest applies to Tesla. And the next one up is autonomous taxi networks. As you can see right here, it's associated with industrial innovation as well. And that is exactly what Tesla is doing. And they don't name Tesla specifically, but I think they are emphasizing Tesla currently and how they're training those neural networks and gathering all of the data from their vehicles right now to train this AI and perfect it. And one thing to mention as well is a lot of these other vehicles right now are using very costly sensors on their vehicles that pretty much use something called LiDAR, which is basically like a 3D map that is not super visual, but it does provide some visual aspects in terms of like if there's a car beside you, you'll see the 3D model of the car beside you, but it's not like capturing video from a vehicle like Tesla does. And Tesla has emphasized that there has been a big benefit to simply just using video technology and correcting the AI when there are imperfections. But anyways, I just wanted to mention a few of those aspects from ARK Invest, especially because I think ARK Invest is one of the best investment conglomerates out there that actually focus on innovation and things that will certainly cause stock prices to increase in the future, which is what I definitely believe that we are seeing with Tesla right now. I think that in a few years, anybody that looks back on Tesla will definitely wish that they made a purchase at a time when they thought the price was too high, such as like right now. Anyways, I just wanted to share my thoughts and opinions about the stock market and the specific stock known as Tesla, and also just share a little transparency update on the moves that I made on this stock recently. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like on it and use my referral links to start up with Robinhood and Webull if you'd like to. But I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend.